So what's going on, guys? This is KRAZYKent here, and I just got through reading the 4 documents of the whole Pokimane Fedmyster situation, and
Boy, that escalated quickly.
where do I even start? So there's this ex-streamer that's called Fedmyster. The only thing I can sum up is that this is a whole lot of drama that could have been settled privately, but as always with YouTuber drama, it just got blown out of proportion into the open and whatnot. So what happened was that like a couple of days ago, not even a couple of days ago, like at the beginning of this week, there was a document that Fedmyster made about Pokimane where he basically was saying that she manipulated him, pretty much took his feelings for granted, and she was spreading misinformation about him to where he was trying to get one of the members of OTV, Yvonne, fired, and just a lot of stuff that was going on. And I had to sit down and read all of that documentation, to which I'm gonna leave that in the description below. I'm gonna leave his document, the lead document. I'm gonna read his response to the document being leaked, and I'm gonna leave Pokimane's response, as well as Jody, one of the people that were pretty much like involved in the situation, down below, just so I can pretty much like, you know, give you guys some context of everything that's been going on. So what happened was that Fed made a document like months ago to where he was talking about his relationship with Poki, to where, according to him, on his side, he said that he and Poki were in an on again, off again type of relationship. Like, they would pretty much act all flirty, they would act like they were coupley, but then sometimes they weren't. And then next thing you know, he goes on to say that Pokimane was bringing some guys in her life, and she was pretty much doing things with them on the other side of the wall, where you know, his room was right next to hers and he can hear it.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Then it went on to her trying to say that one of the members of the house, Yvonne, wasn't doing enough work and that she wanted her kicked out. And then she went as far as to go on stream and pretty much say that Fed was manipulating and all that. It was just a lot of stuff that he was putting out there. So according to Fed, on his side of things, he was basically saying in the document that Poki was leading him on. She played with his heart, and you know, he wanted to go further, like, you know, more than friends, but she wasn't budging, and she was letting guys in on her life, but she wasn't giving him the time of day. It was one of those situations to where he was pretty much like being painted as a victim in this, because, you know, he had feelings for this girl. This girl pretty much played with his heart. She pretty much like made him feel worthless, like made him feel like he lost his self-worth, which I can understand that, because I've been through that before. But I feel like there was more to the story as possible. That's why I didn't make a video on it when it first came out, because I'm not gonna lie, Pokimane has done a lot of messed up shit before. Like, there was a time when she literally got It's a Gundam's stuff taken down. There was a time when she got into it with PewDiePie on copyright, and there was like every single time when she got caught in a controversy, she wouldn't take it seriously. But the reason why I gave her, like, you know, a benefit of the doubt is because of the fact that she took some time away. She tried to get herself together, and she came back and she apologized for some of these things. So that's why I feel like, you know, I can't hold all that against her. The internet can, because, you know, the internet, especially Twitter, is like a toxic wasteland. But I can't hold that against her. So I was basically waiting until, you know, she tells her side of the story and what's going on. So we got Fed here saying that Poki was pretty much manipulating, like she was this evil person, and that she pretty much will only be friends with you to get what she wants. And then after the leak came out, Fed came out with his own statements where he was saying that, you know, the whole document was made like months ago. It shouldn't have been leaked. It was leaked by somebody that I pretty much like showed this to in confidence, but apparently they went against my trust, decided to leak the documents anyway. And I don't want things to get worse than they already are. We're trying to settle this privately, and we're trying to like take a step back, and, you know, I just don't want things to get worse than they did. And, you know, that was all he had to say on the whole situation. But for the past couple of days, I I'm not gonna lie, I pretty much felt like, what the hell is going on? Fed's saying all this, and then next thing you know, he's saying that the document, please don't worry about it, and please pretty much like you know, respect our privacy and whatnot. And then after the document got leaked, Pokey went as far as to like try to live stream it, and the way she literally tried to explain herself was so terrible that she made herself look worse than it needed to. And if you need any context, I will leave down a link. She was at the point where everybody was, well, not everybody, but a good majority of people thought she was full of shit, because she wasn't explaining the points, like her whole response to it, like the way she was acting, it was like she was trying to like be vague about it, like she wasn't going into detail, like she wasn't explaining it. It was like she was dodging the evidence left and right, left and right, left and right, because there was text message there was some statements there, and instead of actually answering them, she was just, you know, just sitting there laughing and just like saying cringe, 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 and just being like overly chipper, even though that she's dealing with something that could pretty much like, you know, paint her in a different light. And you would think that she would pretty much try to defend herself on this, but it was like her attitude was just making me feel like I think she's trying to hide something. I'm not trying to like throw her out there, but I waited until she put out her statement, and then finally she did put out her statement, which again, it's going to be down in the comments below. I'm not reading that shit. I'm definitely not reading any of this shit. I already went through like a whole 2.5 hours reading all of this shit, and pretty much trying to get context. So I'm not doing this again. So from Pokimane's perspective, she did initially want to like see where things would go with Fed, but in the long run, she pretty much didn't see him as more of a friend, which is understandable. But then from her perspective, Fed was pretty much like not happy with the whole thing. From what the document that she pretty much like put out, she was trying to paint Fedmyster as the type of person to where when things are supposed to be kept, you know, between him and the person that he's talking to, or persons, because, you know, now a whole bunch of other people got involved in this. He goes to other people that don't know anything about the situation, and because of the fact that he knows them, he would tell them some things differently, but then he would stretch out the truth a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that he actually did that. I don't know. I wasn't there. This is how I pretty much see it. Like, Pokey and Fed were interested in each other. Pokey felt like they should just stay as friends. Fed didn't like that. This is my perspective. This is not me trying to like make anybody look bad. This is what I'm pretty much like, the situation is being painted out for me to see. And Fed pretty much like wasn't all too happy about it, and he pretty much wanted, like, you know, to talk to other people that don't know about the situation. As for the whole intervention thing that they had is concerning his behavior and the whole Yvonne thing, the only thing I can say is that this guy has some boundary issues, which honestly, Yvonne wanted to keep her distance from him, as well as like him going to like another team house and pretty much prattling on about the whole situation and everything. The best thing I can pretty much say out of this whole situation is that this could have been handled a lot better. It should have been professional, and this is a whole new reason of why you should never, ever, 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 ever flirt, date, or in this case, try to do the diddle with your co-workers. And this is exactly why, because if you work together or if you own a business together, and then you start to be intimate with each other, and like, you know, you pretty much like, you know, go a little bit too far, when you pretty much get to a situation to where the relationship gets messy, then it gets to a point where it's not even just the two people who are involved in this, it's now everybody is involved. And that's the same if you pretty much work at a job, or if you own a company, or if you run a business. That's how it always goes. If you start a relationship with somebody, especially if it's like, you know, like misconduct or touching involved that can pretty much make somebody else feel uncomfortable, or in this case, like the way you come off with somebody to where you are pretty much pushing the boundaries, then let me go ahead and say that's not okay. When it comes to stuff like this, it's always best to keep it professional. That's my whole take on this, is that like they should have handled this professionally. Now, I'm not saying that Fed is innocent in all this at all, and I'm definitely not saying Pokey is innocent in all this. All I can say is that these two, they could have just handled this professionally, and none of this could have gotten blown out of proportion. But other than that, this is how the whole thing is just summed up. Fed says that Pokimane is manipulative. Pokey says Fed is manipulative, and then Pokey linked a video to Fuzly, another streamer, went on about how Fed was bad-mouthing offline TV. So basically, from what I got out of the whole situation is, Fed is the type of guy that gets upset about certain things, and then when it goes to like running his mouth, he will run his mouth and he will stretch the narrative just so he can pretty much make himself look like the innocent party. Now, I'm not saying that's basically what he's doing, but that's what it looks like to me. The best thing I can pretty much say is that Fed is just, he just needs to learn what the core concept of overstepping one's boundaries are, because this man, from what I'm seeing, what I'm reading, and what I'm like learning so far, this man has some really bad boundary issues, like so bad right now. And for Pokey, the only thing I can say is that she shouldn't have been like, you know, even if it was a joke, she should have just kept it professional and say, hey man, listen, let's just be friends for right now. I don't want to do this right now. Let's just, you know, just keep things as professional as we possibly can. I don't want a relationship with you right now. We need to focus on our jobs. You know what I'm saying? Just you know, just establish that wall right there. But I feel like she tried to establish that wall, but because of the fact that she known him for a long time, the wall was kind of like made of glass instead of bricks. But I'm not saying that it's her fault or anything. I'm just saying that, like, you know, I can understand that, you know, she cares for him a lot, like he cares for her, but at the same time, she just didn't want things to go too far or just get blown out of proportion, which too late for that. If I can sum up the whole Pokey Fed drama, all I can say is just high school drama. It's basically all it is, and not pertaining to everything else around it, but mostly between Pokey and Fed themselves. This is all just drama that just got blown right out of the water. Like, it's just nothing but he said, she said, this happened, that happened. Here's the screenshots to show what he said. Here's the screenshots to show what she said. It's just one big entire mess. And right now, it's just pointing fingers. People are getting dragged into this situation. It's just a whole lot of shit. So the best thing I could possibly say to sum up, please, for the love of God, keep it professional. Don't try to date them. Don't try to sleep with them. Don't do anything with them. Just keep it professional. Just be respectful. And that's all I have to say on the situation. I mean, I hope I gave it as much of a good take as I could. I wasn't trying to take sides in the matter. They're both wrong at some degree, but at the same time, I just felt like this whole thing just blew up. And you know, the way it was handled, I just, it was a lot of reading for me, a whole lot of reading. But the only thing I can say is the best thing for them right now is to just keep apart from each other, just go their separate ways, let all this alone. Fed does his own thing, get better. Pokey goes back to doing her thing. Just, you know, just keep it all separate, because we don't need any more of this madness right now. It's not even worth it, and it's already pretty much done enough damage as it is. But that's just my personal take on it. But what do you guys think about the whole situation? But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, be sure to pretty much leave a like on the video, and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I make a new video. But anyway, guys, that's all I have to say about the whole situation. Thank you so much for watching. This is Crazy Ken, and I'm out of here. Peace.